Yo, what's up? Hello and welcome to episode 18 of Weird Mind Newsroom with your host of the channel anyway. So we have a lot of new releases this week, a few trailers and a bit of news to talk about. So let's not waste too much time and let's just get right to it then, shall we?
Somebody ring the dingster!
So we have a lot of new releases this week, so I'm just going to try and fly through them as quick as I can. So we'll start with our essentially big film of this week, and that is the action film of the fourth entry in the long-delayed series of The Expendables with Expendables 4 or Expendaforbles. Now this new one will see Statham and Stone team up with another large group of big-name cast to go and stop a terrorist known as Rahmed, who has a chance to try and obtain nuclear warheads to cause tensions between America and Russia. So basically, modern day. Now, the reception of this movie has not really been the best. It's been labeled as probably the weakest in the series, and it's a case that it's too similar to so much more other films out right now. But if you want some form of action-packed adventure that probably won't be too long of a hassle, then you could check it out now as it's available in cinemas. But if action is not your thing and you're looking for something a bit more of a true story base, then I would suggest the newest movie of Dumb Money. Now, this film is based on a recent event from about 2 years ago about a group of ragtag Redditors from r/Wall Street Bets who banded together and put the squeeze on the two hedge funds that said GameStop stock shares would fall, and then turned it to a whole roller coaster of emotions, saw profits rise, and it was great to see all these Wall Street investors in their suits going online who gambled our money, crying on live television because we're doing the same thing to them. It was beautiful to see. Now, the reception on this one has been pretty well received, I have to say, and it's got a great cast, it's got a decent form of the true story, and if you want to see something like this, you can check it out now in cinemas. But now for the return of a series whose last entry was a little over a decade ago, we have an all-new reboot in the Spy Kids franchise with Spy Kids Armageddon. Now, this new one will see the two kids of the world's greatest spies unwittingly help a powerful game developer with creating a virus that will control all technology in the world, and soon they must suit up and save their parents and the world from this electronic uprising. Now, the reception as of the time of recording has been decently received, but, you know, it's got zaniness. But to me, you can never go as far as replicating the classics that was the original trilogy with, you know, the iconic cast, the memorable moments, and of course, the beauty that was the Fum-Fums. I have a question for you. How much would you be paid to have a relationship with one of these things? Just a general question I want to know. But if you want to see what the newest film has to offer, it is available now to check out on Netflix. But if you've wondered, are we alone in the universe? Then you can quench those worries as we have an all-new feature film of the third kind with No One Will Save You. Now, this film will follow the character of Bryn, who finds herself at solace in the walls of her childhood home after the passing of a longtime friend. But soon that peace becomes shattered when she is awakened one night by the sound of strange noises from creatures from beyond this planet, and soon she must survive against a sudden extraterrestrial phenomenon. Now, as of recording this as well, the reception for this movie has gotten some pretty decent scores, and I'm intrigued with the concept because we haven't really seen a lot of just normal, like, you know, alien abduction films in a while. But from the looks of the concept of the trailers was pretty interesting, and if you want to check it out yourself, it is available to watch on Disney+. Now on to the TV shows. We have two this week, and we have the first of a three-part TV event that brings us back to the world of the High Table Assassins with The Continental, from the world of John Wick. Now, this is a prequel series to the world of John Wick films as well, as it follows the story of a younger Winston as he builds his way up from under the shadows and beneath the high table to become the owner of one of the most powerful management of the Continental Hotel back in 1970s New York. Now, what I have seen from the reception of this movie has been a bit mixed, as some of its praise has been to its action and its casting, but to some, many feel it is missing some of the big names of the franchise. In particular, Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne with that focus, which has some concern for next year's John Wick spin-off movie Ballerina starring Ana de Armas. But we'll have to see when that happens. But if you want to return to the world again, the first part of this three-part series is available to check out now on Amazon Prime over here. It's Peacock in the States, with the next two parts coming out every week following that. And now for the awkward talk that will be all finishing up soon with the release of the final season of Sex Education that will follow the stories of the teenagers and adults of the fictional town of Mordell as they contend with dilemmas in their daily lives, with most of it in the area of sexual intimacy. Now, the reception for this final season, similar to the other seasons, has been very well received from critics-wise. Audience, I think, for this one's a bit mixed, unless it's just for the first episode, but I'm sure we can all finish it up when the season is now available on Netflix. But now it's time to test your might, for it's time for Mortal Kombat! Yes, the big game release of this week is with the newest entry in the Mortal Kombat series of MK1, or this is the 12th entry in particular. Now, this new game will be a reboot to the Earth realm of the series created by Liu Kang after the end of the previous entry. But soon, some powerful enemies, led by Shang Tsung, will do what he must to destroy it and create chaos, and they must stop at nothing by fighting to the death. Now, the reception for most of the versions of this has been highly praised for its story, visuals, and of course, the gameplay and those bloody gory fatalities. Now, I did mention most, as one port has been the butt of jokes the last few days has come from the Switch port and its questionable state, which has now been confirmed to be getting a bit of a major update by the head of the studio, so we'll have to see how that turns out. But when it does happen, and if you're up for a fight, then you can do so on all other consoles and PC now. Now, for our second game, if you notice a little over the last few years, we've seen again a lot of content involving the wooden boy that told lies, to some success, some disappointment, and some meme material, to say the least.
Father, when can I leave to be on my own? I've got the whole world to see.
But now we'll have this new gritty take on the character with Lies of P that will see you become part of a Bloodborne-style game where you hunt down puppets that started a revolt in the town of Quat, and infected morphed humans changed by a new disease. Now, the reception for this game has been very strongly received and is seen as one of the best iterations of a story and the Souls-like game, and if you're looking for a bit of a challenge with a familiar twist, then look no further than this game, which is available now on PC, PS5, and Xbox. And to just simply round out all the new games and releases of this week, we have the all-new entry in the beloved series of Payday with Payday Free, that will see you and friends from all around the world teaming up to pull off insane heists, obtain as much money as possible, and cause as much chaos in the process. Now, the reception of this one I have seen seems to be a bit of a middle ground of modest with the critics, but the audience has been panning this game, in particular because it's been hit with a lot of server issues. I think on launch it was down for 18 hours, so I don't know. They might be working on it for sure, but I'm sure be able soon enough to be able to plan the perfect heist with friends when it's available to now to play on PS5, Xbox, and PC. And of course with that is all of the new releases that have come out this week. So on the start of our little wave of trailers for this week, we start off with the official trailer for the upcoming new series based on the popular novel series of Percy Jackson, with Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Now, this new series will follow the origins of 12-year-old demigod Percy as he comes to terms with his newfound powers when the god of Zeus accuses him of stealing his master lightning bolt and must get the help from his friends who help restore Olympus. Now, I think this does look pretty interesting, and it looks way better than the two films we got in the early 2010s, especially in the case of the young cast that actually fits the age demographic. And I know a good friend of mine will be very excited for this series as well, as they love the likes of the ancient gods, and they, yourself, and me can check this out when this series starts streaming just before the holidays this year on December 20th, and releasing a new episode every week after that. Now, here's a question for you. Have you ever heard of that rumor of that one particular face everyone has supposedly seen in their dreams, but don't understand why? A concept that I want to probably use in some capacity of a series I'm working on that I will develop over time. Well, this seems to be the case with our newest film from A24 entitled Dream Scenario. Now, this new film will see Nicolas Cage playing Paul Matthews, a university professor that becomes an overnight sensation when everyone in the world starts to see him in their dreams in some odd scenarios, from the normal to the nightmares. And soon the fame will come with its consequences and its cost, that, things may not be so perfect after all. Now, this does look really intriguing, and the reception the film has received so far from some film festivals has been very strong. So, you pretty much check this film out when this releases in cinemas on November 10th of this year. But now it's time to learn the origins of the rebellion, as we have gotten an all-new trailer for the upcoming prequel to The Hunger Games with The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. It's time for The Hunger Games, everyone! This new film will take us back to the 10th annual Hunger Games, and will follow a young Cornelius Snow and the events that led him to become the tyrannical leader of Panem, and with the focus of his relationship with the tribute of Lucy Gray-Baird. Now, this does look decent, and to be fair, I haven't seen all of the original films, or I don't think I've read the books yet, but I might give this a look over time, and you can prepare yourself for the games when this film releases in November 17th. Now, one of the biggest known shows on Netflix came in the form of Spanish crime series of La Casa del Papel, or as it's known in English, Money Heist, that started as a limited series in Spain on Netflix and then got turned into a 5-season show with an extra 3 seasons afterwards. Now this soon spawned a remake set in South Korea that released last year, but now we have a new look at the newest spin-off for the series with Money Heist Berlin. Now, this new series will see the main lead of the original series return in this new show that will see him lead a team of robbers and criminals with a different emotional state, robbing banks across the city of Berlin, most likely. Now, all this is an announcement trailer that gives us a date for the premiere, and so far it looks decent, but you can check it out when you can gear up when the job goes down on December 29th. And then to cap off the trailer for this week, besides the popular series about a heist, there was another series that involved a lot of money, but with a more deadlier and bloodier outcome. And that was with, of course, 2021's Korean series of Squid Game. Well, the sadistic minds of Netflix decided, let's make it real. And this is with Squid Game The Challenge, that will see 456 contestants battle out to win the cash prize of $4.56 million, the highest in television history, in this series of grueling challenges that will push them to their limit. Now, I'm sure they will come up with some insane challenges, and some will probably be repurposed for the second season of the main show that's confirmed to be coming out, and see how the contestants played out. I'm pretty sure I applied for this. I'm pretty sure everyone could apply for this internationally as long as they speak English or nothing back, so I guess they found 456 people from America. Who knows? But you could see who will win the cash money when the series premieres on November 22nd on Netflix. And with that, that's all of the trailers that have come out this week.
Ubisoft, huh? More like you're gonna need to start a new company, Soft.
We're going to start with some adaptation news this week, and it's coming to us from Netflix and from the mind of Roald Dahl. Now, we have seen a fair few different stories of his being released into films and TV specials, from Matilda to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory to The Witches to Fantastic Mr. Fox and many other big-name tales. But one of Dahl's most well-known stories has yet to see any form of adaptation is The Twits, a story about two very gross humans who play pranks on each other for their amusement and to pester their pet monkeys in some way by gluing them to trees, I believe. I think that's what the story was about again. Well, now finally, after a long time away, we are finally getting our very first adaptation for The Twits. And it seems like they're going a bit bigger this time, as it seems to be going to have an amusement park of Twitlandia. Now, I don't know the full context of the story. It's been a while since I read it, but I don't think there was an amusement park in the story. Now, this has been in development since about 2003, with them trying to make a film or even a series out of it, but now we have finally coming to us from Netflix, possibly DreamWorks. It looks a bit like a DreamWorks style, and be directed by Phil Johnston, who was the writer for the 2 Wreck-It Ralph movies and the director of that second one, as well as the writer for Zootopia. So it probably will be in good hands and knows his stuff, but we'll have to see when the film comes out as projected release in 2025. But what do you think of this new look image, and are you excited to see an adaptation of The Twits? And also, what is your favorite adaptation of Roald Dahl stories? Personally, mine is Fantastic Mr. Fox, and maybe one or two of the Charlie and Chocolate Factories, but we'll have to see your own opinions down below in the comments, and I'd love to have your opinions on. Now let's talk a bit of some uproar in the company news, in particular with the video game company of Ubisoft and their Montreal division, as a lot of the staff are a little up in arms this week about some false promises made from the company. You see, about 2 years ago, in June of 2021, the studio provided the option for all of its staff to allow them to work from home for 100% of their hours, which helps better productivity. Their hardware might be a better option than the ones in the company, and will provide more jobs and easy access for a lot more of the staff. As there's currently about 4,000 staff members in the company, it could be a lot more if it's working from home. Well, it seems now they have gone back on that word and have made it policy that everyone has to return back to their company and office and work in the offices for about 2 days in the week, and no option for just a full remote work option. And most employees are pissed by this sudden change, especially for those who basically find it much difficult to actually get to the company. This has caused a bombardment of nearly 300 comments about the disarray of the office, from lack of newer hardware, there's constant leaks, as well as rodents and insect infestations in the company, as well as just a disarray to everything, and some ongoing dilemmas in the form of many studios of harassment and sexual misconduct that the studio has also found itself in over the last few years, similar to the likes of Activision, Riot Games, and a few other ones. Now, the theories that seem to be the sudden decision is to help with the staff reduction, as the company has been hit with some financial troubles over the last few years, but it's hard to say okay. But to me personally, it just seems really screwy that a company would do this. Just, they'll announce something and then go back on its promise and really affect their numbers. And their profits will probably take a hit from this as well. Because most times when stuff like this happens, usually it would see a dip in some stuff. But we need to see that if a lot of them are complaining about it, then they may need to rethink their choices. But I doubt much is going to happen. Because, I mean, you look at like Activision one, that one, nothing happened from that. But what are your opinions on this? Do you think that the company has a right to do this? Or do you feel that you're in the side of the customer or the employee? Because I'm on the side of the employee. But let me know what you think of it down below in the comments. And now for some social media tech news. And for our newest installment of What the Fuck is Elon Doing Now?
You don't want to be like this. This is disgusting. This is awful in every way.
So we have talked a little about the mess of Twitter in the past, from its sudden name change that makes it sound like a porn website, to its bad decisions of Musk trying to think that it'd be cool to disable blocking, which I believe they've stopped doing, and a few other reasons in the past of why I feel this social media will crash and burn, and this new one may help heavily with that one. Now, to many that followed this ongoing takeover for nearly a year now, one of his early dumb ideas was charging people around €8 to €10 a month to be verified, and allow you to see a set number of tweets a day and everything like that. Well, now he's going to charge people a lot more, as apparently he's trying to plan and charge people just to actually use Twitter, which I think is a very stupid idea, as you already charge to be verified, and now you want more just for us to actually use a social media site, when every other version is free. His intention is to be helping reducing bot accounts on the website, but that's only going to make it a bit worse, as there's still going to be a major issue, and this will see a lot of profit in the social media decline heavily, as people will not want to pay just to use a social media that's just at this point full of hate, vile messaging, and content and material that may affect so many things, and stuff that's not safe for workers as well. But Elon doesn't care, because a lot of people will suck his dick on the internet, and it's a reason why Elon is a fucking idiot and can't really run a company, in particular Twitter.
It's time to stop! It's time to stop, okay?
But what are your thoughts on this idea, and do you agree or disagree that Elon Musk is a goddamn idiot? Let me know what you think down below in the comments. And now to wrap up this week's stories, we're going to focus on some of the announcement and release dates for some upcoming titles, and one rumored title in the pipeline that's coming down soon enough. But we're going to just go through them and announce all the new changes. So first off, we're going to talk about the upcoming release of Loki, which is coming out in 2 weeks' time, I believe. Now, this is not getting a major delay, but in fact, it's actually moving up a few hours. Where you see, initially it was going to launch on October 6th. But now it's getting similar to Ashoka, a primetime slot on Disney Plus in the States, where it's going to release about 6 p.m. there, while over here we're going to get about 2 a.m. in Ireland. So basically, it's going to be those late night watches now, isn't it? Our other story that's basically been announced is that this series that will never end, and I wish it would, which is supposedly next year, so thank God, we have the announcement of the release date for season 7 of Big Mouth that is planned for its premiere next month on October 20th. Now, most of the big focus announcement of this season is that Megan Thee Stallion is part of the cast and is going to be playing a hormone monstrous, and most people seem to be done with this series, as well as what I've seen from the like to dislike ratio of most of these trailers, but we only have 2 more seasons before this is all over. And lastly, of just like the announcement release dates, we mentioned as well earlier this year that we're going to get the sequel to Good Burger this year. Well, we now have an official release date. In particular, it's coming out just before Thanksgiving on November 22nd, which I believe is a Wednesday. So, something a bit to quench your appetite while you wait for the Thanksgiving dinner. And lastly, with some announcement news, it seems that we may at some point down the line in the future receive a third movie in the Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs franchise. Now, not much is known right now, but this does have a form of a working title of Planet of the Grapes, according to the directors. Now, as for the likes of Laura Miller being involved, that will probably be the case, but right now they're busy probably working out the masterpiece that will be Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. So I could probably wait until then, once that's done, and get back onto this one. But I'd like to know your thoughts on all these date announcements and upcoming planned concepts as well, and what are you excited for and expect for these two as well. But let me know what you think down below in the comments, and as of that, that's all of the news that we have for this week.
Go home, folks.
And with that now, that brings us to the end of episode 18 of Weird Mind Newsroom. And I hope you enjoyed listening to me rambling for another extended period of time. Now, just some updates on the channel. I have planned for some reviews currently in the pipeworks, which is going to be Puss in Boots, Elemental, and Ninja Turtles. I want to try and get them all done at once. I'm currently finished up writing the Puss in Boots one. I have just a little bit left to do. And I'm going to get started on those other two, hopefully within the next day or two, and have them recorded either by some point next week or maybe maybe a little bit after. We'll have to see what happens. Other bits, Rewatchathon. I have started the first 2 movies on them. I'm going to continue working on it. Need to go find one of them because it's not on Disney Plus service. And I think next on the list, I believe, is Alice in Wonderland. So we'll have to see how that one turns out. Other bits, I plan to make some other long form videos, maybe make a Halloween special before next month. But I like your opinions on stuff like that. Like, what things do you want me to review? What should I talk about for a Halloween video? I would love to hear your thoughts down below for this week's comments, as well as talk about some things I could do for a video, the Halloween ones, if you want me to see. I'll try my best to get it working, but we'll see how it turns out. But yeah, that's basically all I have to talk about this week. So if you enjoyed my content, why not simply like the videos and subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate all the support I get for these videos as well, like even the views and the likes and the comments and the subscriptions. And my goal for these subscriptions for this year is at least, I'm going to be modest, about 50 to 100 subs, around that area. If I get to that score by the end of the year, I'll be very much appreciative, and I'll try and do something special for it. I'll figure something out down the line. But yeah, that's basically all I have to talk about today. So of course, if you like the videos, like, comment, and subscribe, and all the good stuff, support me as much as you can. Yeah, and of course, you all stay being wonderful people, because I know all that watch these videos are wonderful people. And have a great day every day. And I'll see you all in the next video. So goodbye, everyone, and take care, everyone. Goodbye.